Welcome dear students. In the previous class, we had a detailed discussion about our first chapter of Flamingo book, the last lesson authored by Alphonse Daudet. Today I have come up with some more points pertaining to the same chapter. The points include the brief introductory part and the gist of the lesson. The whole chapter has been summed up in these points, in these sentences. I am sure they will help you to learn the lesson more conveniently. So, before going ahead, I would like you to take the screenshot of this portion and the gist of the lesson so that you can have a good idea about the whole chapter. Certainly, these points will help you answer any of the questions based on this chapter. I hope you have taken the screenshot, and let us move ahead with the theme of the chapter. As you know, theme is the main idea or the message the author wants to convey, the author wants to give to his readers. So the theme of this chapter is, already I have told you that it is based on the procrastination and linguistic chauvinism. So there can be two themes, you can say. The first one is, the story beautifully brings to light the human tendency to postpone the learning of things for means because one feels anybody, one stands for anybody, feels that there is plenty of time to do so. That is known as procrastination. Means we are having a tendency of postponing the things, skipping the things, and we transfer it to the next moment. Okay? यही सोचते हैं कि अभी हमारे पास बहुत टाइम है, इसको बाद में कर लेंगे. That is known as procrastination. One never knows when the doomsday will dawn. Doomsday means final day, death day, you can say. Day of convulsion will dawn and bring an end to our hopes and aspirations. So one should never postpone his activities, his things to the next time. Rather, he should execute that work and complete that activity at that time itself, in spite of postponing it. The natives of Alsace realized their folly of not giving due importance to the study of French in their school days. So, as you know, the French people, mainly people of Alsace and Lorraine, ये उनकी फुलिशनेस थी कि उन्होंने कभी भी अपनी लैंग्वेज को इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं दिया और उन्होंने अपनी लैंग्वेज को कभी भी टाइम से लर्न करने की कभी उन्होंने कोई चिंता जाहिर नहीं की. दे वर नेवर एंक्शस टू नो देयर और लर्न देयर लैंग्वेज, दैट इज़ फ्रेंच. और अब जब टाइम बीत गया, व्हेन टाइम वाज ओवर एंड दे वर आस्क्ड टू लीव लर्निंग ऑफ फ्रेंच, दे रियलाइज्ड देयर folly, their foolishness, their mistake. They become victims of linguistic chauvinism. With the acquisition of their districts by Prussia, Prussian forces attacked these two districts and they were taken over. The Prussian forces asked the people of Alsace to leave learning of French behind and start learning German. That was the linguistic chauvinism, means imposition of one's language or the others, दूसरों के ऊपर अपनी लैंग्वेज थोप देना. That was linguistic chauvinism. And this comes when there is the difference between pride and proud vanishes. Okay? Pride and proud. Dear students, pride is something positive. We can take pride of any of our assets, our achievements, our learning. That is fine to a certain limit. But when that limit crosses, or when we go beyond that limit about the pride or about the importance of our own thing, own learning, own language, then it turns into proud. And proud is taken in negative sense, गर्व से अभिमान की तरफ. Okay, so when we start taking pride into proud, or when our pride is converted into proud, that time we can think that yes, we have become victims of linguistic Chauvinism means we are going to impose our language over the others. As you know, India is a land of multiple languages, but there is no boundary, and that's why there exists unity in diversity. Though there are different languages, different regions, people of different races, different colors, different religions, but we never allow them to dominate us, and we live with social harmony and dignity. They receive their last lesson in French and are compelled to bid adieu to their mother tongue. Bid adieu means to say goodbye, means the last meeting of something. Thereafter, we are not going to see it again. The story also highlights the brutality of war, which makes men insensitive to human feelings and emotions. Dear students, it is well known to you that let it be any war, if we go back to history and uh, start taking the toll of these wars, what they have caused to humanity, this land, there is nothing positive. Everything will lead into destruction, despair, and disappointment. Any war causes a massive brutality to human being. It causes a loss of property, a loss of manpower. So, the war between Prussia and France was also resulted in brutality and insensitivity towards human feelings and emotions. The Prussian forces didn't take care of the feelings and emotions of the people of Alsace and Lorraine. There are some textual questions, and you can very well answer them on the basis of the points we have already discussed. Let us go ahead. What was French expected to be prepared with for school that day? Let us answer this question. I am sure you can reply it. Okay? Just reply in your own mind. Let us try to answer it. What was French expected to be prepared for that day of school? You know, M. Hamel asked him to come prepared with rules on participles. Rules on participles. But French did not know ABC of participles, means he did not know even a single word about participles. Why? Because he never tried to learn anything. Even he skipped the classes whenever he was expected to learn French at school. So this was the reason, and this was expected from French, means he was expected to come prepared with the rules of participles. A day before, French teacher, that is M. Hamel, had announced that he would question the students on participles. Thus, French was supposed to have learned the rules governing the use of participles, but he had failed to do so. He did not learn those. As a result, he feared that M. Hamel would scold him. Scold means chiding, डांटना. Our next question is, what did French notice that was unusual about the school that day? So, you know what was unusual at that day? Because in school, a usual hustle and bustle could be heard, means a loud noise could be heard of the students, their learning in unison, rapping of the ruler of the teacher, opening and closing of the desks. This could be usually heard in the school environment on the normal days. But on that particular day, everything was still and silent. There was no noise coming from the school. It was looking as if like a Sunday morning. So unlike the usual din means commotion, okay, loud noise that could be heard from the street. Today French found everything to be quiet and still as on a Sunday morning. जैसे संडे मॉर्निंग में बिल्कुल शांत होता है, कोई आवाज़ नहीं होती क्योंकि कोई स्टूडेंट वहाँ पे नहीं होता है. लाइक दैट it was appearing there. No opening and closing of the desks, repetition of lessons, that is in unison, एक सुर में, and rapping of teacher's ruler on the table. was audible. Means these all activities, these all sounds were not audible. कोई भी वहाँ पे सुनाई नहीं देती. His classmates were already in their places. Before Franz reached the classroom, he found his classmates already seated there. Okay. Next is what had been put up on the bulletin board. What had been put up on the bulletin board? So you know there was a bulletin board in the town hall, and that bulletin board is nothing but just like a notice board where usual, or that is information for the common human being, common people is being displayed. So that was the bulletin board. It was put up in town hall and people had gathered over there. This was the source of all bad news for last 2 years. पिछले 2 साल से उनको कोई भी वहाँ पे अच्छी खबर सुनने को नहीं मिल रही थी. Let it be anything, losing of war, commanding officer's order, a draft, anything. So this was on the bulletin board on that day. What was put up? A message from Berlin has been received that there would no more be learning of French, and French learning would no more be in continuity. Rather, it will be replaced by German language. So unlike the news of lost battles, the draft and the orders of the commanding officer, the bulletin board displayed the shocking information of replacing the teaching of French with German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine as per orders from Berlin. So you can write it like that. The bulletin board, which usually was being displayed with the bad news like lost battles, draft and the orders of the commanding officer, today also, that is on the last day of the French lesson also, a message was displayed there, an information was displayed there, that is an order had been received from Berlin which was regarding stopping of learning French and beginning of learning German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. This was displayed on the bulletin board. What changes did the order from Berlin cause in school that day? So, as you know that everybody was shocked and they had a feeling of respect for their language and their country. People all from village also had come there and they were sitting on the back benches. Everybody was listening to M. Hamel very patiently and quietly. And M. Hamel was also teaching them with a great patience. The order of replacing the teaching of French with German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine awakened the local people. People love for their language. Today when they realize that they are going to shun their language, means they will not be allowed to learn French anymore, they realized the importance of their language. Before that, they never thought about the importance of French. With a feeling of guilt, gloom means dismal or sadness, and repentance, regret, that they sat on the last benches undisturbed, showing utmost interest in their mother tongue French. Today they were showing a keen interest in learning French. But what you know that once everything is lost, there is no use of showing your sincerity. So time awaits nothing. Okay, time awaits nothing. The people in this story suddenly realize how precious their language is to them. What shows you this? Why does this happen? So as you know that people from the village had come there, they were sitting in the back benches which usually remained vacant. M. Hamel was also wearing his ceremonial dress. Students were sitting there very quietly and patiently. So all this realized that they had come to know about the preciousness of their language. The keen interest taken by the villagers, Franz regret at having ignored the study of his mother tongue, and M. Hamel's emotionally charged last lesson reveal. ये सब चीज़ें बताती हैं. What? Keen interest of the villagers. 1 point. Franz regret at having ignored the study of mother tongue. means he was repenting for not paying any attention to his mother tongue learning. And M. Hammel's emotionally charged last lesson, means he was teaching it with very a great patience. So these all things reveal that all of them considered French to be a precious language. इन सबसे पता चला था कि अब इनको अपनी फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज की प्रीसियसनेस, इसकी कीमत के बारे में, इसकी वैल्यू के बारे में पता चल रहा है. An order from Berlin to replace French with German resulted in this realization. And when they came to know about this order from Berlin to replace French with German, then they realized that yes, they had committed a big mistake. Rather, it was a blunder on their part. French thinks, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons? What could this mean? Dear students, when French came to know about the order from Berlin, then he was quite disappointed. He was very angry at their decision, at the decision of the Berlin authority, that how can they snatch or how can they deprive a native person from his own language. Means he commented in a sarcastic way on that will they make the pigeons also to speak German? Will they ask them to coo in German only? Usually they speak their own language, okay? Neither they speak French nor German. But are they so cruel? Are they so big victim of linguistic chauvinism, or they are so obsessed with their own language that they will force even the pigeons to speak German? Means this was not, or rather it was beyond tolerance of French and the people of Alsace. But what could they do once everything was lost? Having a feeling of anger towards the Germans, French thinks that intense insensitivity and cruelty of the Germans would make them snatch away even the natural and spontaneous style of singing of the pigeons. Students, language of any region is the biggest identity of those people. Once we are asked to leave our language, means it is as good as we have lost our identity. So this was a matter of great disappointment and anger for French as well as other villagers of the Alsace. What was the narrator's greatest fear as he moved towards school? So as you know, he was feared of M. Hammel's scolding because he had not learnt the lesson of rules on participles. That's why he was afraid of going to school. French had got delayed in starting for school, and thus he was afraid of M. Hammel's scolding for being late. So one reason was that he got late and he thought that M. Hamel would scold him, he would chide him, he would punish him. That was the one reason he was afraid of going to school. And second is, he having learnt rules for participles, he dreaded his teacher's anger, means he had not learnt the rules of participles. So he thought it is better to stay away from the school. What thoughts ran across French's mind as he walked towards the school? So when he was going towards school and when he passed through town hall, he came across an open area where Prussian forces were drilling. The weather was quite pleasant, it was warm and shiny, birds were chirping, so natural beauty was scintillating him. So he thought to enjoy that beauty and warmth of the weather in spite of going to school. He wanted to enjoy the drilling practice or the firing practice of the Prussian army as well. What did the narrator observe as he passed the town hall? What did the sight trouble him? Means when he was going through town hall, so the crowd was there, he thought something bad is going to happen there. So he was driven in sadness. He thought that something, a bad news might have come there. So he had a suspicion about something bad or some evil thing, or you can say some ominous or impious thing. What was the implication of the blacksmith's remark? So when he was going through that place, a blacksmith called him from behind and said, there is plenty of time, and there is plenty of time to reach school. Nothing to worry about. Why are you running? So, friends thought that the blacksmith was making fun of him. Okay. This is known to you that what surprise awaited friends as he entered the classroom. So as he entered the classroom, he thought that M. Hamel would scold him for coming late, but in spite of that, he handled him very gently. He asked him to sit on his bench. So this was something different, and M. Hamel was wearing a ceremonial dress, which was also a point of concern, and that surprised friends. Okay, that dress he usually wore on ceremonial occasions. On the back benches, the villagers were taking position, and they had occupied the back benches. So that was also a matter of concern for friends to think about, that what for they had come there. Later, when M. Hamel told him that this was going to be the last lesson, and thereafter German will be taught to them. So this was a matter of surprise for him. What is linguistic chauvinism? I think you have already understood it. Let us discuss the linguistic chauvinism. This story, the last lesson, is all about linguistic chauvinism. Comment. So as you know, linguistic chauvinism means obsession of one with one's own language. Okay, when we start thinking about our language to be the most superior, or you can say superior to others' language, then this is termed as linguistic chauvinism. Means we think that others' language is not as good as is ours. Okay, so our pride of our own language turns into proud. There is a thin line between pride and proud. Once it has shifted from pride to proud, it has become linguistic chauvinism. India is a state where different languages are spoken. There are different regions, different religions. Still, we have to forget those differences. We have to take care of all the languages and should not discriminate people on the basis of language. This story, the last lesson, is all about linguistic chauvinism. Acquisition of power over the Alsatians made the Persians domineering, that they imposed even their language on them. Means if somebody is attacking some other place or other people to acquire their territory, it is accepted to certain extent. Okay, but if they impose their language even on them, then it is not acceptable, and it is a cause of linguistic chauvinism. Their pride in their language was so fixed that there was no scope of respecting and accepting the language of others. Means Germans did not respect the language of French people. That is, French was not a good language in their eyes. Their rulers wanted to dominate even their minds and hearts, and wanted them to even think in their language, thereby causing the loss of their identity. Means if we lose our own language and we are forced to learn the language or impose the language of others, then definitely we are going to lose our identity, because language is the biggest and the most important identity of any citizen of any country. This story thus highlights linguistic chauvinism, which is becoming a major cause of wars and political disturbance in the world. So this is about M. Hamel's character. You can write it, because M. Hamel was a generous teacher. He was very devoted to his service. He served the school of Alsace for last 40 years. He was quite connected to the people of that place. He had a great connect with the French, and he described French as the most beautiful and most important language of the world. He taught a lesson to the people that as far as they hold fast on their language, there is a key to their prison. Means a hold or the importance of one's own language to safeguard it is very important, and if we safeguard our language, one day it will help us to free us from the chains of slavery. He was like a friend and guide, and he advised the innocent villagers to shift their priorities and pay more attention to learning at school. As a patient teacher, he makes friends realize why he insisted on learning the lessons in time and not postponing the learning. So he also taught the people about procrastination. He told them never to shift their activities, never to shift their things from present time to the next moment, because by doing so they are going to get nothing. This is all about this lesson, dear friends. If any question is there in your mind, you can answer it with the help of the main points or the gist of the lesson we have already noted. Thank you. Have a nice day.